Okay, so today I'm going to read from Revelation chapter 13, a fresh translation of the rooted word. We've got the Precise English edition done and the Common English edition done. And there are just a couple of things I need to alert you to because you're going to be a little bit in shock when you hear it. You're going to say, what is exousia? Well, exousia is a word that seems to indicate power, more raw power that exists before the creation, whereas arche is a kind of power that originates from the organization of the creation. So exousia is something that comes out of being itself. And that's what it literally means, from out of being. There is some indication that this power may actually be spiritual beings that work behind whoever has this power, more fundamentally even than Satan or angels. So it's unclear about that. The scriptures do not reveal that clearly enough, but you can get this sense of it as you see the use of the word. That word is used a lot in chapter 13 of Revelation with the two beasts and the dragon. Now, the other two things to be aware of, well, first off, is that dragon itself is, the word in the Greek means fabulous serpent. They didn't have a word for dragon back then. And so it is an interpretation to translate that as dragon. It's not a translation, it's an interpretation. So we don't do that. We use what it literally means, a fabulous serpent. So don't be surprised if you don't hear the dragon mentioned. You'll hear the fabulous serpent mentioned. That is Satan. You'll also have another surprise because, well, lamb is lambkin. It's a diminutive. A diminutive is a word that is translated either like dear or precious, or little and cute, or little or cute. Doesn't necessarily have to be cute, but little, like small, tiny. And so you have lamb in the diminutive here. Throughout Revelation you do. So whenever you see lamb mentioned in Revelation, it's lambkin. That's the English word for little lamb. Like Mary had a little lamb, it's Mary had a lambkin. But that doesn't flow very well. Now, the reason I'm pointing to that is that the opposite of the lamb is the beast. And you got two of them. And they're in the diminutive. But they're not beast. Beast is an interpretation like dragon. It's literally hunted game animal. So both of these are hunted game animals who arise out and take control of the earth. But they're in the diminutive. So you could translate it either little hunted game animal or deer hunted game animal. Well, we chose for the former, little hunted game animal, because it makes more sense in the passage. And you say, makes sense? How does it make sense? Who's terrified of a little hunted game animal? Well, that's the juxtaposition is doing, just like with the lamb. How can a little lamb be the only one who can open the scroll? See? So it's the same kind of juxtaposition with the lamb and its power, his power, and with the little hunted game animals and their powers. So it's a juxtaposition of the two. All right, so let's get into it. There are a lot of things that, will surprise you in the way that we translate. So just try to listen to it anew. Don't try to go, oh, that's not right. It should say this. No, it shouldn't. Because this is what is actually literally there in the Bible. And the translations you have, you'll find some of this there, of course. They've got to do some translation work correctly. But there's so much that's done incorrectly that it's difficult to tell what's being said. So now we've tried to pull this out so you can see what's being said. Here we go. Revelation 13. And I was stood upon the sand of the sea, and I stare at to discern a little hunted game animal, stepping up from out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and upon its horns 10 diadems, thoroughly binding, and upon its heads names of blasphemy. Verse 2. And the little hunted game animal, which I stare at to discern, was being similar to a leopard, and its feet in that manner as a bear, and its mouth in that manner as a mouth of a lion. And the fabulous serpent gives to it his capability and his throne and great exousia. Remember, exousia is like a raw power from before the creation. Verse 3. And one from out of its heads, as if having been butchered in sacrifice unto death, and the stroke of the death of it is served in adoration, and the whole earth serves in adoration to the back of the little hunted game animal. And they crouch to lick the hand as a dog to the fabulous serpent, the one having given exousia to the little hunted game animal. And they crouch to lick the hand as of a dog to the little hunted game animal, laying forth who is similar to the little hunted game animal, and who is capable to engage in war amidst it. And a mouth is given to it, to lay forth great things and a blasphemy. And exousia is given to it, to make warfare 42 months. And it opens up its mouth into a blasphemy forward to God, to blaspheme his name and his tent, those tenting in the heaven. We're on verse 7 now. And it was given to it to make warfare amidst the terrifyingly clean ones, and to win against them. And exousia was given to it upon every race and people and tongue and ethnicity. And they will crouch to lick the hand as a dog for it. All those occupying accordingly upon the earth, of whom the name has not been written in the scroll of the life of the lambkin, the one having been butchered in sacrifice from off of the throwing down accordingly of a whole collection of individuals. If anyone is holding an ear, he must hear. If anyone is holding into a captivity of war, he is leading humbly under. If anyone in a weapon of war will slay off, it is being bound for him in a weapon of war to be slain off. In the same spot, the remaining humbly under to the other side is being, and the persuasion of the terrifyingly clean ones. And I stare at to discern another little hunted game animal stepping up out of the earth. And it was holding 2 horns similar to a lambkin. And it was talking in manner as a fabulous serpent. And all the exousia of the first and foremost little hunted game animal, it is doing in the sight of it. And it was making the earth and those occupying it accordingly in it, in order that they may crouch to lick the hand as a dog of the first and foremost little hunted game animal, of which the stroke of the death from it is served in adoration. And it is making great ceremonial indications and a fire, in order that from out of the heaven it is coming accordingly upon the earth in the sight of the human beings. Verse 14. And it is leading astray those of us, it literally says that, and it is leading astray those of us occupying accordingly the earth through the ceremonial indications which is being given to it to do in the sight of the little hunted game animal, laying forth in words to those occupying accordingly upon the earth to make an icon of the little hunted game animal, the one who was holding the stroke from off of the instrument of war and lives. And a spirit was given to it to give to the icon of the little hunted game animal, in order that the icon of the little hunted game animal may talk, and it may be making as many as in such case may not crouch to lick the hand as a dog of the icon of the little hunted game animal, that he may be killed off. Slain off, literally, like we had before. Verse 16, and it is making all the small ones and the great ones, and those fulfilled in this world, and those who terrify from a fall, and those unrestrained, and those bound, in order that they may give to themselves etchings with a sharp instrument upon the palm of their hand, or upon the midst of their face. And in order that no one is himself capable to gather in the town square, or to be busy bartering, if he is not the one holding the etching, the name of the little hunted game animal, or the number from its name. In the same place, the wisdom is being, the one holding an intellect to know must enumerate with pebbles the number from the little hunted game animal. For a number is being from a human being, and the number from it is being 666. And then there are 3 letters at the end, Greek letters. And those, each letter represents a number traditionally. The first one being 600, next one being 60, the next one being 6. But that last one is a defunct letter, which is a stigma, which is a cross. No kidding, it's a cross. That's what it stands for. The first 2 are letters in the Greek alphabet, the 22nd and the 14th letter. That's chapter 13. You see that the result of this is some things are dramatically different. Dramatically different. We know what happened to that little hunted game animal who had the wound. It was from an instrument of war, it says. And that death itself is served in adoration. You can see, since we've translated it literally, you find a lot of terms of description of worship and adoration involved. Even the adoration of the wounding and the death of one of the heads. It's very interesting. I don't really want to go into a teaching on this chapter. I just wanted to read this to you, and it will be up, so you'll be able to read it again by yourself as often as you like. May the Lord bless you as you seek Him with all your heart. Remember to subscribe down below and like the video and share it on your Facebook and other social media. And then make a comment, whether a question or a comment. We read all of them, and we try to respond to all. Get on over to our website, The Rooted Word, and start reading the translation and also the articles that we've posted. It's at therootedword.com, therootedword.com. And may the Lord bless you as you seek Him with all your heart.